Viagra that works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the biggest brands at 90% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but 90% cheaper. It's the same medication you get from your doctor, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. Results are guaranteed or your money back. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/joy. That's 4hims.com/joy for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/JOY.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening.
It's the afternoon stretch with Zach Williams and Bruno Reagan.
Everybody stay calm. Stay calm.
Let's take some calls from the public, shall we?
Join the afternoon stretch now on the Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600. Now here's Bruno and Zach.
Four o'clock here in the Music City, so you know what time it is. Time for the afternoon stretch here on Nashville Sports Radio. Bruno Reagan, Devlin McKenzie, Zach Williams here inside the Strike and Spare Family Fun Center studio. If you want to get involved, we want to hear from you. The Cure Hotline, 615-844-5600, wide open till 6 o'clock today. Jump in. We want to hear from you. Bruno Reagan, how are you doing today?
I'm sideways.
Camera's off a little bit here.
I'm sideways.
Maybe Devlin will get to it here.
That's
in
in
just a
person.
second.
I'm actually, there's an earthquake and then the building is busted. What's up?
Yeah, no, it's a good day. It's a good day outside. It's nice. Halloween's over. No more spooky season. Bruno can finally get out of his cage.
Thank God. I'm still not going to leave it either.
Yeah, no.
I'm working on the best self-sustaining gaming man, single man, no talk to anybody cave of all time. So, we're almost there.
Halloween yesterday, went home, did the whole thing, started raining. I feel like everybody just kind of was like, well, screw it this year. It's Monday, it's raining.
Really? No, I felt it's nobody cared, really.
There was legitimately last year, 2 years ago, like the last in my parents' neighborhood, because that's where we always go. There is usually, on average, like 10,000 kids walking through there. I mean, it's wild. And I would say maybe like 100 to 200 kids showed up, which is still a lot, but not for that area.
No, I don't know what it was. Everything just feels so underwhelming now. Maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe I look back on.
Well, you don't like Halloween already.
Well, I'm just talking about when I was a kid. You know, when I was a kid, I look forward to Halloween, Christmas, all that, and I feel like just the festivities like we used to do, they just don't mean as much anymore. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's TikTok controlling everybody, and it's like kids are just like, I don't care. You know, I don't know.
Well, I think it was perfect. It got dark, and then it rained. And that was where I think the second it just started raining, everybody was like, I'm not doing this. Yeah. But I was still out there.
If I was a kid, I would have forced my parents, like, we're going.
Oh, there was still, trust me, there were still those kids out there last night. And I was out there with my chainsaw just scaring them. I mean, shout out to the kids that showed up. It's my favorite thing yearly to do is to have the chainsaw going and scaring these kids into annihilation. I think it's good for their character development, though, because you see some of them, they finally, they get through it, you know, because they got to walk up at a hill towards me. I'm sitting there, chainsaw, mask on, all that kind of stuff, and they just start sombering up, and they get scared for a second, and then they finally find the will inside. It's like the Goku moment, you know. They finally, they're like, I'm going to do it, and they go by me, and nothing happens, because obviously I'm not going to kill a kid with a chainsaw, you know, on Halloween, or just any time, really. But they finally do, and they get that candy, but then they got to walk back by me again. And this time, I'm turned looking at them that way, and they got to have that moment all over again. And they're like, I did this once.
Do you reward them with the best candy?
Yeah, they get full size.
Yeah, good.
Yeah. No, it's worth it. I mean, every year the kids the kids are simply the only reason why I still do it. I'm not trying to be like, oh, look at me. But it really is. I'm literally only doing it for the kids because they love it so much. And they, if I go to take a break for even a second, they're like, where'd he go? Where'd he go? And so they all come back out because they just love, they get scared. They love it. They don't know why. Because, I'm sore. I'm carrying around like a 20-pound chainsaw for an hour, 2 hours straight, not letting it go, and I'm swinging it around and everything. And I'm like, right now, my back is so sore that I want to stop doing it, but I won't because for the kids.
Yeah, my knee really hurts. Can you fix it?
Yeah, sure. Bring it over here.
Bust it up real quick.
You're the same way though. You do a bunch of. I mean, you teach obviously kids.
Yeah.
And I mean, how many times have you been like, ugh, so tired? But you're like, children.
It's only for an hour, so usually it's pretty easy to stay in good spirits for the kids.
Yeah.
I like working with kids. But
no, it's fun. It's very fun.
Something hurt my feelings today. I was making fun of the Titans trade deadline, and I was looking at other people making fun of the Titans trade deadline, and someone was like, "Don't worry, John Robinson's just scouting out XFL O linemen to sign." And I was like, "Wait a second." That hurt my feelings.
NFL trade deadline has come and passed. There was some surprising trades that happened. There was a record-breaking amount of trades that happened. 10 trades on a trade deadline. That is the record for the NFL on trade deadline days.
Yeah, the NFL trade deadline is always something that get hyped up, and then it never like really delivers. This year, pretty much delivered. It was it over delivered.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think the most that had ever been was 8. So they got 2 more trades on top of that. That
it was
even
all pretty recognizable nameage for the average NFL fan.
I think Titans fans are upset, and I think you have a complete right to be upset.
Well, for those that don't know, the Titans rank 32nd in overall offense in the National Football League, 9th in the run, 31st in the pass. So
yeah,
doesn't get worse. 32nd worst team in the NFL on the offensive side of the football.
It is abysmal that the Titans did not get in on the trade deadline. I understand there's going to be media out there that are going to say, well, John Robinson just, he was making the smart moves, and sometimes the not making a move is the smart move. And I get there's going to be people that are going to say, well, the Titans are good where they are. Well, no, they're not, because what the stats you just brought up. They're clearly not. I would say the argument for not trading for a wide receiver, the only valid argument is what is the health concern of Ryan Tannehill? Because if you don't have Ryan Tannehill for an extended number of weeks, then you have no quarterback because Malik Willis can't throw for more than 55 yards in a game. I don't think there's any kind of ramping up period that if he attempts 6 or 10 passes, completes 6 of them, doesn't even have one in the third quarter. What is bringing Chase Claypool? What is bringing Kadarius Toney? What is bringing any of those guys to Nashville going to help on this team?
Yeah, I mean, the Titans, I say this for a few different teams, but I think it just rings true to the Titans more than anybody. They have to be the biggest house of cards on the planet. I mean, it's a house of yarn. It's a house of neurons. It's a house of that's just something that doesn't exist. It's Derrick Henry. Their entire team is Derrick. You take Derrick Henry off this team, we are like a 1-win football team, maybe.
Yeah.
Right? It's so abysmal. And at the end of the season, I'm going to, I feel obligated to give Robinson credit, Vrabel credit, because this is an unprecedented era of Titan success. But we all just look at each other. We're like, this feels awful,
I think that the biggest problem and the biggest, what's the word I'm looking for? The biggest problem for the Titans is the same thing that people love about the Titans. And that they're a gritty team. It doesn't matter what's happening on the field because even right now, I mean, we're talking about they're 5-2 currently. They are a winning team. They're 1 field goal away from being a 1-loss team to the best team in the NFL, in the Bills. That's it. That would be their only loss. If Randy Bullock makes that field goal, that 40-yard field goal at the end of the game, that should have been a made field goal. If they do that, they beat the Giants, and they have 1 loss in their record. And it has been ugly every step of the way, and it feels like that is their curse. Because they just somehow figure it out under Mike Vrabel. Somehow Vrabel pulls these guys together and collapses and says, look, we have to win. I don't care how we do it, just win. And they somehow, it's either Derrick Henry, it's the will of the defense, whatever it is, they're dragging them to a win. And that's why John Robinson can say, well, we don't need to trade because we're going to just win gritty, ugly football games regardless because that's how this team's built.
At the end of the day, I come to you guys as a humble fan. I am a fan of the Titans. I do still technically play football, but I have I have no expectations.
Shout out Bandits.
I have no expectations of playing in the National Football League. I cannot stand watching the Titans. They're boring. It's
ugly.
It sucks.
If you're a real Titans fan, you don't want to watch the games.
It sucks, man. You know who I like watching? Like the Bills, the Chiefs. Who else has even out there now?
Vikings are pretty fun now. Cowboys are kind of getting back now that Dak's in it.
Well, heck, Atlanta and Carolina are having duels to the death.
Great games.
But the Titans are just such an abysmal.
You like watching? I'll say this. Let's be fair about this. You like watching half of the Titans. Defense is stunning. They're tremendous on defense. And that is where they invested their coins. They invested their coins on defense this offseason. Harold Landry got his contract. Unfortunately, got hurt right before the season started. They're eventually going to have to pay Big Jeff whatever he wants because he just deserves a blank check at this point. But not keeping A.J. Brown, moving him on, going in on just their defense alone has caused this situation. And I think, once again, that's that idea that the thing that people love about the Tennessee Titans is the thing that is cursing them to get bounced out in the first round, which is inevitably what's going to happen. And when I say first round, I mean first round of whatever the Titans play, because they could possibly get a bye. It's in the cards that they could possibly get a bye, especially this week. Chiefs going to the Kansas City Chiefs.
If they win against the Chiefs, the Titans are currently number 1 in the AFC.
Exactly. And so there's a world where they get the bye and they get bounced out of the divisional again.
It's going to be the same storyline as last year. Everyone looked at the Titans, they're like fake number 1 seed. And you want to know what? They were totally right.
They were.
They
were. And that's we could talk the whole Ryan Tannehill side of it, but the worst side of it is, where is Ryan Tannehill now?
What do you mean?
What, we don't know his health.
Oh.
We don't know if he's going to be playing.
I'll offer you a second. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Oh, they can win regular seasons. Playoffs, though, Ryan Tannehill playoff is terrible.
No.
It is.
Well, he's okay, but in the playoff, okay doesn't win. No, it's about your best players rising to the level and the occasion. And that's why Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tom Brady, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, that's why those names are always in there. And it's like, oh, what about the Titans? Yeah, every now and then, like when I say every now and then, once every 20 years, a wild card Giants team sneaks in just off of the inertia of the roll of the dice. Sometimes a team gets hot for no reason.
Yeah.
And that's great. If the Titans are banking their coins on that to win a Super Bowl, it'll just never happen. But it's hard. I try to be retrospective because it's hard to criticize these guys, because I grew up when the Titans didn't beat anybody. I don't think we beat the Coltons in like 7 years. And there are little sons now. There are little baby boys sitting here and marching around. They're like, "Oh, Bruno, you want to play catch?" And I'm like, "No, get out of here. Pay me $1.2 million." That's what's happening right now. That's what's happening right now.
If you're a Titans fan, jump in on the Cure Hotline. I want to talk to you. I want to hear how mad you are right now that the Titans didn't get in. I think they 100% should have been involved in the trade deadline. I'll tell you, though.
Would you give up a second for Chase Claypool? Because that was the going rate, you know? You know what we do with our second-round picks?
We don't let him play football.
Caleb Farley, those are our second-round picks.
615-844-5600 is the number if you want to jump in. I want to talk to you. I just think that I would have loved Claypool to be here. What if Ryan Tannehill is hurt? If Ryan Tannehill is hobbled and not just straight up not playing, and Malik Willis or Logan Woodside is the option that we're going to see against Kansas City, that we're going to see going forward in the rest of the season, would it matter if Claypool was on the field?
No, you're right. Let's put 10 offensive linemen out there and Derrick Henry in the Wildcat.
I was literally going to add that if Tannehill's not healthy, what's the point in getting a receiver if they're going to eliminate the receiving or the passing game?
If Tannehill is healthy, what's the point of getting a receiver anyway? The Titans have abysmal, they are the worst. They have to be the worst winningest team of all time. This is the most confusing thing.
I remember at a Titans game before I ever got into media. It was actually the last Titans game that I went to in the stands, and I was with my girlfriend at the time, wife now, and Ryan Fitzpatrick was playing the Baltimore Ravens. And that was back when Fitzpatrick obviously was the Titans quarterback. And a guy said something that has haunted me forever, and you just reminded me of it. And he said, of course, Ryan Fitzpatrick went to Harvard. And he said, Ryan Fitzpatrick, you've got to be the dumbest smart guy I've ever seen. That is what the Titans are. They're the dumbest smart guy you know. Somehow they keep winning. They're the best worst team in the NFL.
Well, the worst part is listen, I'm not a former player that looks at it and is like, oh, they should do this. I mean, I guess sometimes I do that. But at the end of the day, I'm just someone who wants to be entertained. I do the entertaining on this show, and then I want to be entertained. And the Titans don't entertain anything about me. It's just an abysmal watch.
Womble, our good buddy Womble on Twitter says, the goal is to win a Super Bowl, and this roster isn't doing that. Everything less than a Super Bowl win is a failure. I agree.
Yeah, but it sucks because think about it from a self-sustaining standpoint for Vrabel and Robinson. They're just creating a culture that gets there every now and then, and it's hard to move on from them. It's because if you go all in for the Super Bowl and it doesn't work out, there's a risk of total collapse of your team, climate, foundation, everything, a la Rams, and you get fired.
That's a great point. Rams got the Super Bowl last year, and this year they're
awful,
abysmal.
They're absolutely awful, and now we're all like, look at this white guy running around thinking he's a good wide receiver. No,
to be fair, he has been good.
I know,
but it's like at what cost, right? Yeah. Like it's Thanos, right? Like what did it cost? It costed everything. That's what it is. Simper something on Twitter. I can't get your last part on that guy. Says we should have a trade, but at left tackle.
Oh, no, that's a great point. I mean, Dennis Daly, right? This is him. I hate nitpicking single reps because sometimes you have a bad rep. Maybe the snap count got messed up in your head, and that is the one play that gets identified and put on the microscope. But he commits a lot of errors that are just not acceptable in the National Football League. It's a pass play where it's play action. So you sell the run, and the point of selling the run is to get the pass rusher out of his pass rush mode. You want them to lock up with you. That's how you beat them and make it easy for you. Well, he's laid off the ball, so he steps underneath himself instead of gaining ground with a step. And then he crosses his feet over, so he has no way to counteract lateral movement. It was 3 basic high school mistakes back to back to back from our left tackle, the most important protection position on the field. So it's like, how are you out there, man? And you can't find another guy better than that?
Yeah.
You can't find another guy better than that? I guess not.
Well, and that's who they traded for at the offseason.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was preseason when they got him, but from the Carolina Panthers to be just kind of the fill-in spot, and then unfortunately Taylor Lewan goes down. And, I mean, really at this point, that's a good point that you look at it. Talk about wide receiver. I think it's always easy to go to the sexy positions to talk about. But left tackle, I mean, that's been abysmal as well. And obviously losing Roger Saffold. Aaron Brewer has also not been good at all. The guy has got to jump early every single time to get some sort of leverage built up against whoever is going to be rushing. There's been all kinds of problems, but once again, it's the thing that they're so good at is the thing that slowly kills them. It's just being a gritty win team that they're going to find a way to win until they can't. And unfortunately, it happens in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's just the real side of it. If you want to jump in, 615-844-5600. That's the Cure hotline. We got to run to a break. Later on in the show, 440, we're going to have Alex Daugherty of A to Z Sports jumping on. Going to talk some Preds, as for some reason they seem like the team that is more fun to talk about right now, at least, even though they're really abysmal. Sports in Nashville is going wildly south. It is not good.
We can't say that with the Titans almost number 1 in the AFC. So.
It's crazy. It makes no sense.
Right.
Jump in, 615-844-5600.
Good afternoon. Here's what we're looking at. A stalled vehicle up against the wall just a few minutes ago there in the area of Briley Parkway, right at I-65. That was Briley going westbound. Traffic's really busy now. 65 just trying to get up through Madison towards Goodlettsville. Heavy 40 east at Fessler's. Starting to see it slow down over here on Briley Parkway in Bordeaux over around County Hospital Road. That got a little heavy just a couple of minutes ago. Hey, Ripley's Gatlinburg is your one-stop destination for family fun. Check out all the details by logging on to Ripley's.com. I'm Commander Chuck.
Now is the perfect time to download FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Join today and get started with $150 in free bets guaranteed. When you place your first $5 bet, that's a free bet back. Your first bet doesn't win. Just sign up with the promo code WNSR. FanDuel has all your favorite bets, from the money line to point spreads to player props. You can combine your bets for a chance at a bigger payout with the same game parlay. With live betting, you'll get updated odds on games that have already started. Super easy to use. Don't fumble your chance to get $150 in free bets. Win or lose with the promo code WNSR. Make every moment